Hi guys, welcome back to the shop. Hey, today we're going to do a little mocking up of the RM Suzuki. Try to get some of the assembly. Most of it's going to have to come back apart, but I just want to mock it up, see what kind of hardware we need, see if I've got some, special brackets or whatever we're going to need for this, that, and the other. So I can go ahead and get that stuff coming, so we'll have it when the time comes. But of course it needs new tires. It needs a lot of work. It needs the back wheel is going to have to be respoked, and all those aluminum rims are going to have to be cleaned up, and it just needs a lot of cleaning up. Plus we got to get into the engine and everything yet too. I've got two top ends. I pretty sure they'll interchange. We just need to get pistons and whatnot and the gaskets appropriately. So I can use either 78, 78 and a half or the 79. And I think I've got most of the stuff, so I can go either way. I'm just going to have to play around with it a little bit and see if it's going to work, or if I'm going to have to clearance things or whatever. So that'll all be stuff we get to. I'm sure a lot of you folks have probably already done that, and if you know, hey, that'd be great. That way I wouldn't have to go through all the suffering to see if it does fit. I'd like to use the 79 stuff if possible, and I think it will work. I think it's they went, even in 78 and a half, they improved the porting, got more horsepower out of it, and they did it again in 79. So I just think it's best to go with the later model one if you can. It'll just be better as far as performance goes. So let's get down there and get started on this thing, see what we can get done. Okay guys, this is the swing arm bolt. I'm doing the black oxide on it. It's kind of like the gun bluing, but it's black oxide. It's just a chemical reaction. It has, you don't have to put any electricity to it or anything. Once I take it out of here, I'll probably put it in, I'll take it out, clean it with steel wool, put it back in a couple more times to get a little bit deeper black on it. And once it's done, then I'll put it in a penetrating oil that's specifically made for this, and it will absorb that and seal this so that you won't have any corrosion or rust. So you just keep doing it until you get it to the darkness that you want it, and in between you just kind of scuff it with steel wool. This is 4/0, and really the main thing we're looking for is the threads and the ends here, because that's what's going to be exposed. The center part is going to have grease on it, but I'll just put it in there. Probably this will be the last time, and then once we take it out of there, we'll seal it with the sealing oil. Okay guys, there's our bolt. It's all done, and that's not going to rust. It's basically organized rust that's already on it, so that's a good way to prevent corrosion and rust without electricity or anything, but it is a different color. It's not shiny. Okay, I had to take the swing arm back off again to put this chain protector on, and this is one of the aftermarket ones, Hot Shoe Moto, I think it is. It's the hard kind of Delrin type material. And I did have to trim it a little bit, but all in all, it went on very good. You can see here the end of the the bolts, or the swing arm bolt that I treated with the black oxide. And I'm getting ready now to put the chain protector on the bottom here. And I got that one from Hot Shoe Moto also. So I'm going to go ahead and try to get that back on. Evidently they have a template or something that they use to put those on. So all the holes must be drilled in the same place. I'm going to put in a little bit bigger screw and put a little Loctite on it. This piece here will go up here, and using a little bigger washer too, just so we don't have any tear outs. Yeah, those are lining up pretty good. I am surprised. This one here, a little bit stretch, but I think we got her made. That one looks good. Okay, got that. Okay, like it's saying, the bearings are pretty well seized up, so I'm going to pop them out of there. Boy, they're liking being in there too. These blind bearing pullers are worth their weight in gold. What do you want to bet this thing will turn now? Yeah, turns now. It's going to get a new one though, both sides. And I've got our new one in here. Try to kind of get it started. I do have the spacer in there. That's good. Now I'll get the other one out. Good. This one, it was pretty bad. This one here came out of this side. They both needed changed. Okay, we've got our little, I guess these are protectors. They're gonna wear instead of the swing arm. This arm was missing them when I got them. I just mixed up a little clear epoxy to hold them in. It's just hard to deal with them when you're trying to put the shocks in. They keep on to fall out. So just do yourself a favor and put a little epoxy or some kind of adhesive on them. And plus, if you got to pull them off for some reason out in the field, you don't lose them. And we'll let that set up while I do the other side. I just want to mention also about the black oxide. It works really good in a situation like this because it's non-dimensional. Otherwise, whatever size your fastener is, it's not going to change that. Whereas if you plate this bolt, it actually gets bigger. It grows when you plate it. And most of the time, when it's in the threads, it just when you screw it in the first time or put a nut on it, it just kind of takes off the extra. But in this case, I had this the tolerance so tight on it going through those spacers that if I had plated that, I probably would have had to remove it on at least the middle portion in order to get it in there. So in this instance, the black oxide works much better. And you really can't tell, it doesn't look that bad. It's just kind of black on the end instead of, but with the cadmium, or yeah, I guess it's cadmium or zinc coated bolts or nuts, it, you know, can't even tell it. Okay, on these shocks, I think I'm going to put the reservoir to the back. I think it's just about got to go there. Yeah, it would, you can't even put it in that way. So it's going to have to go this way, which is fine. Got the nylocks on the bottom there, and of course the frame is threaded for the uppers. What do you think of the yellow? These were probably painted black, I think, if I remember right. The 400 I had, I believe the springs were silver on. I don't know. They got all different colors. I thought, let's do yellow, because eventually I'll have the yellow fenders and tank and all that. So why not? Let's see if we can get this mounted back up now. And say all this is going to come back apart for plating. I think that little spacer in the middle has gotten kind of dropped down. There she goes. Of course, that's too far. Hadn't in my spacer in yet. There. Finally. Okay. It's coming together. Alright. Hope I got the right one in the right place. I think all the races were the same. It's just the bearing. You've got the larger one. This here's the small one, should be the top one. Goes to here. And this one here will go all the way down. And I've got the seal down there. I just need to pack the bearing. So let me get to that. Just get you a big old wad of it in there and start shoving it up right underneath the bottom there. And when it's full, it'll come out the top. See how it's starting to do there now? So that's how you know you got it full. Alright, here's that one. Try not to drop it at this point. Well, that's the gooeyest grease, but as long as you keep it clean, it ought to do a superb job. All right. I don't know whether I'll get it all on with that or not, but I'll get it close. Kind of keep that. Yeah, that's what I thought. Thought I was going to run out of juice there. Let me see if I can find something else. I've got to cut down a piece here just a little bit on the outside to get that to work. Just needs a little bit. I think that's probably good. We just had to cut it down so it's not beating on the cage out here. It's just on the inside. And then we'll put the other piece over the top of it. I think that'll work now. Okay, I think do the job for us now. You just got to make sure that seal stays centered down there. Everything's still loose. Okay, that's down. And our seal's where it ought to be, so that should be good. All right, let's see if they go in there. Looks like pretty good. Just kind of blocked it up here. Should be okay. And we go ahead and get our upper bearing in. Looks like I'm probably a little bit too much at an angle there. There we go. And then we've got our dust seal. And adjustment. Yeah, when I get it up there, then it wants to be out of line. Yeah. Let me see what I can do here. Okay. And I think we normally have the forks up to the first line, or the only line, I think, for a starting position anyway. I think it's right here. It's the way I saw them when they came out new, where they were always up there. I don't know, I think this thing goes like this. I couldn't really tell from the parts breakdown, and those aren't always the best place to go, but I think this is right. If anybody knows for sure, let me know. Thank you. Okay, let's see if we've got a bolt and all the right spacers for this front wheel. Looks like a spacer on the other side there. And looks like I happen to have one. Right there. Hopefully that's right. Looks like I need to let this down just a little bit. Looks like I need to, well, that may be pretty close. Yeah, that should be. Now look at that. Wonder what it is about the rear axles that there are none out there, and the ones that are just junk. Anybody got a feeling on that? Okay, looks like we got a roller. I think I'll set it down, I think, and I'll see about getting a kickstand on it. The kickstand's actually for a 125, so it might be a little short, I don't know. We'll see. All right, guys, I turned it around. I got a set of handlebars, although probably not the right ones, but I had some laying out there. They still had a tag on them, so they were pretty new. Don't remember what they come off of, but I did go ahead and raise up the fork tubes where I thought they ought to be, and it's kind of, they're, you know, you can see that's where they were. So I've got that done, and of course, like I say, the front wheel went on okay. I had all the right spacers and all that. We'll still have to take it off to rebuild them. And I was messing around with the rear brake cable here, getting it kind of mocked up. So I've got to get a couple bolts for this brake stay down here. And probably tomorrow I'll go ahead and get the brake pedal on there and see where we're at on that and see if I have to move anything. But it looks like everything is pretty well as it should be there. I do have a problem with kickstand. I just bought this one for a 125, and evidently this, where the spring goes on the back side for these. You can see back here is the other end of that for the spring. So I see a couple of them on eBay for 150 bucks. So I guess tomorrow I'll probably make one of these, or cut this one off and move it back here, and I think it's long enough. It just got to get this spring stay kind of put in the right place. Just goes on the back side for these. There's just a lot of stuff like that, you know, if you went around and bought all that kind of stuff that you needed, you'd be broke. And I don't know, it wouldn't be near as much fun. You think? So we'll see what we can do with that. Then I want to try to get as much mocked up as I can. I'll get the engine back in here and we'll check the alignment on the sprockets, make sure we're okay there. If not, we'll have to probably redo some spacers or something, but I bet it's pretty close. Oh, and I think I've got something else that I can put on there. Hang on a minute. Looky here. Even looks like it belongs there. Picked that up from DC Plastics. I didn't even have a seat, and this is the complete one with the body, the frame, and the seat, and the cushion, and it's all installed for probably less than, well, I think it was around $200, but it's, you know, I see used ones that you're going to need to buy a pad and a cover for over $100. So I think this is the way to go. I've got a friend in Texas that's going to send me a tank and maybe even some fenders. I don't know. We'll see what's going on with that. But right now we're looking like we're kind of back to a motorcycle here. And you know, whatever we need to do back here, we can at least jack it up, pull the wheel off, do some stuff there. And like I say, I need to plate the bolt, although I probably won't plate where it goes through. It'll just be this end and the other end, just so it'll be corrosion preventative. But we're finally getting there. RM250, I think we could say it's officially out of the box. But we still got a lot of stuff yet to do. And here's the pipe. It's going to need a lot of work, but at least we got one. See, it's been repaired right here and right here on the bracket. So we've got something to work with. We'll try to do the best job we can and kind of get it back to the shape it ought to be in. Looks like it's got a little bit of a re-weld down here that we're going to have to probably cut apart and redo. It looks like a hole in it right there. You know, beggars can't be choosy, so we'll deal with the problems that we're dealt. Okay, let's cut this off and weld it on the other side. All right, this is the spring latch holder, stud, whatever you want to call it, that I took off the front, and that's not going to work on the spring for the RM. The spring will not go over the head of that, as you can see. So when I got to looking underneath the bike where the one on the frame was, it looked like this one. So I spun one out on the lathe and we're going to attach it right there. And we'll see that spring is really stiff. I'm sure it's that way to keep it from falling down inadvertently during the motocross race, but it's really stiff, so I'm going to put it a little closer maybe than it should be, just to make it a little easier to get on. But If I have to move it, I have to move it. But this one here was not going to work. So I'll put that aside for something in the future. Let's get this one welded on. So there we go. We'll try it and see how it works. Okay, there's the mount back there. And we look okay back here with the swing arm. Looks like we got plenty of clearance. It probably was back a little bit farther than that. Probably had a little more pressure on it, but I think that's okay. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. So I'll let that cool and repaint it, and we'll get the nut on it. Okay guys, let's look at the brake here. This is kind of what I was thinking I needed to do. The picture actually looked like this was back farther. When I put it on here, I put it back to where it was. So this definitely was a different model. So it looks like, you know, this is where it ought to be. So I'm going to have to cut this off and then reposition it back here and then reattach it. So let me get this removed and prepped, and then we'll see where it needs to go. All right, I'll get that sanded off, and then we'll see about placement. All right, let's see what we got here. We got that cleaned up. So that, just put our pin in there. I've got this back down to just about the minimum amount. And I've got the front of the pedal supported with a bungee cord here. So that's about where that needs to be. And I guess I'll go ahead and tack that with a MIG welder. But I've got to be able to hold it a little bit. Let's see. Let me find my gloves. Okay. I'm just going to try to keep it where it needs to be there. Okay, so I think that's what I need. So I'll go ahead and take that over and TIG it. I think we're going to have to bend this a little bit more too, on bend the pedal out. It'll clear, but it's just, you just really don't have much pedal over here because of this piece here. Yeah, I think that looks better. Let that cool off. Yeah, I think that's going to be okay. So I can go ahead and get that painted up now too. And well, this actually gets the zinc coating, so that'll be waiting for that. Get kind of a slow spring in the back on the brakes, so I'll have to work that when I get back into that. But I believe that's going to work as far as our pedal goes now. So I can go ahead and I've got a lot of stuff that I need to plate, but I just really hate to do it in an enclosed area like this. I'd rather wait until spring or whatever, but we'll see. I've just got I've got the cylinder and the head and the pipe up here. I'm trying to look and see if I've got hardware that I need. And this is actually not the cylinder I'm going to use either. This is a 78, I think a 78 and a half. And I'm probably going to use a 79. I've got one with a 79 head. We'll just see what I decide to do. I guess you couldn't see any of that anyhow, so there. Yeah, like I say, I've got a 79 top end, and I think it was a little more potent than even the 78 and a half, so I may be going that way. We'll just see what I can get for pistons, and you know, we'll bore it to whatever we need to bore it to. Wouldn't hurt to have another set sitting around. But we've got, we're just kind of waiting on plastic, and then we'll have to tear it back down and work on the forks and whatever else. Got a lot of, I've got to get a throttle, I've got to get levers, I think, all that stuff. I may have the levers laying around, we'll have to see. I actually think I used all that universal stuff on the Yamaha. So probably got a lot of stuff to get yet. I've got the coil. I rebuilt this one a few months ago. Put a new lead in it, new wiring. So I've got these scraped up here, and we're going to put that just like this. And I've got some star washers I'm going to put between, if I can keep them in there while I get things started. And I'll probably just do it this way. Yep, may need to get a bigger one, I think I do. Okay. We're all good on that, I think. Okay guys, there you have it. We've got a little bit more done on this one today. We got it mocked up, so we've got our brake pedal finished up. We got the kickstand on. We got all the wheels on. We even got the cylinder and head on. However, I'm not sure if I'm going to use that one. May have to. I don't know. We got have to do some fin cutting or something. Maybe, I don't know. I think this has got to come up a little bit. Surely, yeah, I just don't know what we're going to do yet. I'll have to mock up the 79 jug and head on here just to see if it's going to clear the pipe. I imagine the pipe was different. I don't know. This is all stuff we just need to look at. It's coming along good, and I should have at least a gas tank here pretty soon. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do with plastic yet. But we've got to tear down. We've got to get back into the forks. We've got to clean up the wheels. We're going to have to re-spoke the back wheel because we've got one or two broken ones back there. That's going to make it a little easier for us to clean up the wheel and get everything taken care of. Of course, I'll have to send a couple off to Buchanan's and get them to make me a set for back there. I think the front is going to be okay, although they may need to be plated if I want to go to all that trouble. We'll just see. It's just, I feel like I've got quite a bit done. We've got it mocked up, and the big thing is just seeing if there's any hardware that we need to try to find yet. And even, I mean, you can mock up until the cows come home, and you'll probably still be missing some stuff at the end of the day. But we're going to try to eliminate most of that. So hey, thanks for going along on the ride, and we'll see you next video.